What's going on, everybody? It's Pac-Man Jones with Savannah Seaport News, and well, this week has just been another weird, crazy week in the news for Savannah. But before I start off with everything else, I just want to say that we lost a soldier this week, November the 10th, in Kuwait. His name was Ronald Leon Murray Jr. He was a specialist. He was 23. He died in Kuwait while serving for our country, of course. And part of the accident, what happened to him was he was in a vehicle accident, and this accident is still under investigation. The details are really limited in this, but I just wanted to put this out here because I don't really give enough credit to our soldiers out there that's really fighting. And he also was from the Savannah area, of course, and he was assigned to the 4th Battalion, 1st Field Artillery Regiment, 3rd Brigade Combat Team, and 1st Armored Division of Fort Bliss, Texas. The 23-year-old, he joined the Army in January of 2015, and he had arrived at the 3rd BCT at Fort Bliss in June of that year, and he was a fire support specialist. That was his rank in the military. And you know, I just want to say rest in peace to this young brother that died defending our country. Like I said, he died in a vehicle accident, so details are still limited, and whatever updates I can give to you guys, I will let you guys know. But also, if anybody else has people that was lost in the, like, soldiers lost in wars, foreign wars, if you guys would like to hit me up in my email, you can send me pictures, and if you would like to, you can detail, or you can send me information about the person that was lost fighting in different countries, because I would like to put that information out as well. All the soldiers lost that's from Chatham County, or anywhere that's around Chatham County. If you guys would like to send that information to me, you can just tell me how he was like as a person, and anything else that you would just like to provide. And also, his funeral service will be held at 10 a.m. Saturday, November the 19th, 2016, at the Living Hope Community Fellowship. That's 5008 Augusta Road, Garden City, Georgia, 31408. Just in case if you guys want to go there and pay your respects to a fallen soldier, please do. Now, I just want to bring this back in the air. Remember when I covered the story about Kevin Reid, the Australian art gallery owner that owned his art gallery in Savannah, that died, of course, to a homicide when he was gunned down back in September, actually, when he was walking with his wife. Now that Australian original art gallery is being moved to Atlanta, but ever since his murder, they're really trying to get his killer or killers behind bars, and part of that, they increased the award from $1,000 to $10,000. And actually, the person who increased that reward is O.C. Welch. And if anybody knows about O.C. Welch owns pretty much all of the car dealerships along coastal Georgia. I mean, all over Savannah, he has car dealerships. So I mean, like I said, it's a tragic story of a businessman who comes from a different country to come to Savannah and start his own way, gets killed. So if you guys know anything else about this, the reward money has been increased. So if you guys have any reasonable or important information, reach out to Crime Stoppers. Now, we had a shooting November the 13th, Sunday afternoon on the 5600 block of Emory Drive. The detectives responded to Memorial University Center around 3:15 afternoon after a woman showed up requesting treatment for a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. The woman told police she was standing outside when she was shot, and she's not really cooperating with the police at this time, which is kind of weird to me. Now, I'm going to just get into what's been the main topic of Savannah. Now, this is what WTOC has been reporting, Savannah Now, every other Savannah local news reporting website has reported. Now, this is what they're saying. They're saying that a investigation revealed that a Savannah Chatham patrol officer was conducting a pedestrian stop and a check on White Bluff near the new Wal-Mart they just built, that neighborhood Wal-Mart. And during that check, a 24-year-old Brandon Christopher Adams fled the officer on foot. Now, if you guys remember that name in Savannah, that's the same guy who actually fled from police officers a year ago. And I actually have a video of this I'm gonna show you guys, but more about this report. They saying that Brandon, he fled on foot, and the officer then gave chase to him. And then at some point during the chase, the officer reported hearing a gunshot and observed Brandon fall. And officials say that the officer did not even discharge his firearm or didn't even pull out his weapon to even shoot at him. And they're also saying that another gun was recovered at the scene. Now, Brandon, he was transported to Memorial and he was pronounced dead. And GBI is still continuing to investigate the situation. And what more I can really say about this is, I mean, this is a really crazy story. I mean, at first when I heard it, I didn't really want to believe it because it sounded really weird that somebody would run from the police, and in the process of running, they get shot. And, well, they kill themselves in the process of running from the police. And it's like, well, now I'm going to try to play this both sides as possible. Now, I could just only assume the scenarios that happen. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but just listen. Now, what I'm thinking that probably happened is that he had a gun on him and he didn't want to get caught with the gun because, I mean, you're already fleeing the police. I mean, that's one charge. To have a gun on you, that's another charge. So he probably wanted to throw away the gun, and in the process, the gun probably wasn't even on safety, and it discharged and struck him in the chest. Now, that's one situation. The other situation could have been, hey, he could have tried to take the police officer out, and in the process, the gun jammed and it shot him in the chest. Now, what I've been seeing on Facebook, because I do have a lot of friends on Facebook that see my videos, and they did comment on this a whole lot, and they were saying that the police killed them. This was a setup. He ran away from the police earlier, and he beat the case earlier, and this was him trying to this was the police trying to get their payback, because actually the incident where he took off on the police, that happened at a Southside gas station in May, and they actually had charged him with aggravated assault on a peace officer and one count of obstruction. That happened on May 9th at the Shell gas station on the 12,000 block of Abercorn Street. Man, it's just, I've been hearing that as well. And now, are the police capable of cover-ups? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, if you don't believe so, hey, just look at my Troy Davis case. I mean, I got that video in the playlist as well. I mean, there's been other situations where police officers have covered things up, but in this situation, I just don't believe so that this happened, because, you know, 2016, police have more resources. I mean, a lot more people are involved in investigations, and it's not like a white versus black thing. No, that's not the case. As weird as it seems like he killed himself. I mean, GBI has reported that the gunshot wound was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and they don't just make up those things. I mean, they have evidence to prove so. I mean, they can tell how far somebody has been shot because of their exit wounds, and, you know, how the wound is impacted on the body, you know. So forensics is pretty smart, so they can tell a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So at this point, I doubt the police officer killed him. I mean, if everybody's on the scene that's a police officer, black, white, whatever race there is, they're saying that they came to a conclusion that he killed himself, then I guess he killed himself. I mean, this isn't the first time that he decided to run away from the police. I mean, this was the second time, but unfortunately this was the last time for him. You know, it's, you know, disappointing that, you know, like I said in my situation with police, don't run. Now, if he hadn't run, he would probably still have his life. He probably would have been arrested on a gun charge. But I mean, come on. I mean, what would you rather do? You know, you get a gun case, you might get out in 2 years. You know, you shoot yourself in the chest, you know, and die from it. You ain't coming back. There's no revive off that. So rest in peace to this guy. But you know, he made a decision to run in front of police, and that decision, it cost his life. Now, something else that I've seen that's been like pretty positive that I've noticed this week: Alderman Van Johnson and Savannah Youth City had teamed up to get illegal guns off the street and out of the hands of young adults or the youth. Now, so far they've gotten 5 illegal guns off the street within the past 6 weeks, and this is really more so aimed to get guns off the street, and you know, just to reduce homicides and violence, because you know, so far we're at 47 homicides, and the youngest of the victims was a 6-year-old. Like I said, that the boy Rico Hicks that died. And most of these homicides, most of these shootings are black males, so they're really trying to get their efforts in to combat gun violence and everything else. And I believe this is one of the best steps I've ever seen so far. I mean, I know it's a slow process, and what they're also saying is that if this decreases gun violence next year, I mean, they would say that this is a big step in help for reducing that. So, I mean, I think this is good that they're aiming for the youth, because a lot of these young kids, man, they don't know how to solve anything else besides using a gun. And what Alderman Johnson was saying is that if you turn in your guns to like your local churches, there won't be any consequences for it. You know, you can just turn it in. Now, the thing about this is, when you give your gun back, you would then get some help from Savannah Youth City. The only issue I have with that is sometimes, now, like, what if somebody who's older, who that's probably, you know, my age, 24, 25, that wants to turn in a gun, and they probably can't get help from Youth City, because you know, Youth City probably aims for a younger crowd. So I think, you know, it should be something else for the adults as well. And also, when the city gets the guns, they have to sell them back to gun shops, so they really can't keep them but for a certain amount of time, until they have to sell them back to the gun shops. So the city can't keep these guns. But this is another good step. But that's all I really want to give to you guys this week. There's just been a lot of news that's just been happening. I did my best to summarize it all in one video. So that's all for right now. It's Pac-Man Jones with Savannah Seaport News, and I'm out.